today I'm going to be doing my 17 and 18 week pregnancy update for you guys. I will be 18 weeks tomorrow, so I'm doing this one day short, but after I made my 16 week update, a lot has happened between 16 and then 17 weeks last week, and now I'm 18 weeks. So I'm just going to do one big update for you guys here. And so far, let me just go through the small stuff. I have gained 7 pounds at 17 weeks, and I will weigh myself tomorrow morning, and then this video will probably go up on Wednesday. So I will insert right here how many pounds I've gained at 18 weeks, because obviously I don't know quite yet. I was going to weigh myself, but I just ate a huge lunch, so I decided to wait till tomorrow. Symptom-wise, I'm doing fabulous. Besides my belly starting to get bigger and being a little bit uncomfortable at night, I am a belly sleeper, so I'm starting to not be able to sleep on my belly, or like half on my belly, half on my side. So I'm trying to find some good, comfortable positions to get used to for the rest of this pregnancy. But everything else, nausea's gone. Indigestion only comes now if I eat like a huge meal or like a spicy meal, and I think that's normal for pregnancy anyways. At least in the first trimester, when I was getting it every single day, no matter what I ate, I can deal with indigestion here and there now. I don't know if you can tell, but I'm super out of breath. I get out of breath very easily. I just walked up the stairs 5 minutes ago and I'm still out of breath from that. So I do want to get into some sort of exercise routine, like obviously a small exercise routine, maybe walking now that it's colder outside, or at least like stretching and yoga. So I will be doing that once we move. We are closing on our house tomorrow and we are moving Wednesday. So there's a lot going on. So I'm glad that I'm feeling better. My energy is back, I'm pretty sure, as much as it can be with being pregnant. I know that I'm probably not going to get it 100% back until after I have this baby. So I'm just going to be thankful for the energy that I do have when I do have it. So all that is great and good. And now I'm going to get to the scary, stressful part of my last 2 weeks of pregnancy. So, and I'm trying to make this short. And if you have any questions, you can comment below with the questions if I leave anything out. So as I mentioned in my 16-week appointment, I had my blood drawn for my AFP test, which is a test that a blood test that tests you for 3 different symptoms that your baby could have, or syndromes. One being Down syndrome, the other one being trisomy 18, I think, or 13, and spina bifida, which I think has a different name as well. And I did that at my 16-week appointment, and then the day after I made my video for you guys, I got a call back from the doctor. Funny thing is, I had a sneaky suspicion something was wrong or something was up, and I actually called the doctor's office the day before they called me to ask for my results. And normally I wouldn't be worried or ask for the results. Something just told me to call, so I did. And they told me that the doctor needed to review my notes and call me back. So she called me back the next day, which was the Wednesday of my 16th week, I think, of pregnancy. Somewhere then. I know it was a Wednesday morning. And I was trying to get ready quickly for Jane's gym class. We were already running late as normal. But she told me that the trisomy 18 and the spina bifida came back negative, but the Down syndrome I got flagged for. And of course, right then, actually, right when I answered, I knew something was wrong, because normally the nurse or the receptionist calls you with the results if it's negative, but it was my actual doctor that called me, so I kind of knew, and the way she was asking me like how I was doing kind of tipped me off then. So once she said that, my whole mind kind of went somewhere else, and I wasn't necessarily listening to her, which I probably should have been, because she was rambling off all sorts of numbers, test results, percentages of the test working and not working, things like that. And I was just so nervous and like trying to go through my head, like, what is life going to be like with a Down syndrome baby? Things like that. And I'm going to say right here and right now that I was super scared. And I wasn't scared because, or scared of having a Down syndrome baby. I will take whatever God gives me. I'm blessed to even be pregnant. I know a lot of people out there have a hard time getting pregnant, and if God chooses me and Chris to be the father and mother of a Down syndrome baby, then we would gladly accept that and move on with our life. And obviously it would be totally different than what we expected, but we would do it. There was no way that we were going to abort the baby or anything like that, or give it up for adoption or anything like that. So that wasn't a question. I think I was mainly just scared because as a mom and the person carrying the baby, I felt like maybe I had done something wrong. I know that I didn't. That's not how Down syndrome works. But, and then this feeling of Jane's life drastically changing as well kind of made me overwhelmed. So I was just going through lots of emotions, a lot of crying that day, and a lot of thoughts going through my head of how life was going to be. So let me go back to our conversation with the doctor. Like I said, I was kind of in a fog, kind of in a cloud, on the verge of tears, but I didn't want to cry when I was on the phone with her. So she basically first told me that the test that I took was 80%, 80% of the time it works, and 20% of the time the results are wrong or something like that. And then she gave me my numbers that came back for the Down syndrome, or the ratio that I have of having a Down syndrome baby. And you can look up, you can Google the AFP test if you want, if you're curious as to what they test for. I did a lot of Googling, learned a lot about it. I actually had to call the nurse back, or my doctor back, a few hours later after Jane's gym class, so that I can get those numbers again, because like I said, I wasn't necessarily listening. I didn't have a pen and paper or anything. And basically what she told me was, for my age, if you don't know, Down syndrome is more prominent in older women, or older women tend to have Down syndrome babies a lot more than younger women. So there's a ratio there just for your age. So for my age, I had a 1 in 820 chance of having a Down syndrome baby. So out of 820 women my age, there's one with Down syndrome. So that's how the ratio kind of works. My test came back at a 1 in 163 chance. So out of 163 women my age, with the same test results as me, one would have Down syndrome. So that meant that, no, I didn't necessarily have a Down syndrome baby, but there was a 1 in 163 chance. So that made me feel a little bit better at the time, but I knew there was still a chance, and it was so drastic from my age, being at 820, going all the way down to 163. And then also the test itself has a cutoff of 1 in 250. So anybody that's under 1 in 250, they get flagged and they want to do more testing. So that's basically what I was left with. And like I said, there was a lot of Googling. And during my Googling, I read that there's a lot of false positives for this test. So right away, I called my doctor that I had when I was pregnant with Jane to see what my test results were with her. They told me that I was just negative for all those things. I remember when I was pregnant with Jane, so they never really gave me a ratio or anything, probably because they didn't need to. So when I called, I found out that I actually did the first trimester screening, which screens for different things as well as Down syndrome. Obviously, I did that in the first trimester, and it came back at 1 in greater than 10,000. So they didn't feel like they needed to test me with the AFP test. I did do the AFP test for the spina bifida, and that came back negative for Jane. So right away I was like, well, I didn't even do the same test as last time. I didn't get the first trimester screening this time, so maybe there was something different there. And I just tried to stay hopeful. I got a call from the genetic counselor that I needed to go see the next day, and they scheduled me for a visit on the following Tuesday. So I found out on Wednesday, and I had to wait all the way until Tuesday to have an appointment. And those days were actually not that bad as I thought they would be. Like I said, on Wednesday that I found out, I was really sad, cried a lot, was worried, and then my faith in God and His planning for my family kind of put my mind at ease, and I felt better the rest of the week. I knew that if we were supposed to have a baby with Down syndrome, then we would, and if we weren't, then we weren't. So I just kind of put all that in God's hands, and He kind of helped me feel at peace with those days waiting until we saw the genetic counselor. So at 17 weeks exactly, it was 17 weeks on the day, it was a Tuesday last week, I went and saw a genetic counselor with Chris, and she basically just went over our family history, kind of told us a little bit about Down syndrome and our options for further testing. A lot of people, if they're not going to abort their baby, decide not to do any more further testing, and they'll just find out if their baby has Down syndrome or not when the baby is born. We couldn't necessarily do that just because we like to plan, and we want to know the gender. We want to know if the baby's healthy, just so that we can know what to expect when the baby comes. So quickly, the options that she gave us were amniocentesis, which a lot of you might know what that is, but basically they stick a needle in your belly and get some of the fluid out where the baby is, and test the fluid for the actual DNA. So that's a 99.9% chance of being accurate. So that's the best accuracy of finding out if your baby has Down syndrome or not. While we were there with the genetic counselor, we were going to get an ultrasound. So this would be my first ultrasound since the baby was 7 weeks old and just like a tiny little circle. So I was excited to see the baby on the ultrasound. Now the ultrasound, they were going to look for soft markers or characteristics of Down syndrome. One being extra fluid on the back of the neck, another one being no nasal bone. Down syndrome babies don't have a nasal bone, or it's flat. Shorter arms and legs, and a few more things. Kidneys not being healthy or developed all the way. There's a few others as well, but the ultrasound itself is only 60% accurate. So if they were to tell us that the baby looked perfectly fine, there was still a 40% chance that the baby would have Down syndrome. So we would be 60% that the baby was fine, and then obviously a 40% chance that the baby would still be born with Down syndrome, even if they didn't see any of the characteristics on the ultrasound. So we knew we were there for the ultrasound anyways, but the other option that our genetic counselor gave us was for me to get another blood test done that tests for a few other things as well as Down syndrome again, and that test is 99.1% accurate. So 99.1% chance that the test would be absolutely correct, whether in saying yes or no to Down syndrome, and a 0.9% chance that it was wrong. So I definitely got that done as well, and I would get those test results back in 8 to 10 days. With Thanksgiving and the holidays and the weekend, I'm not sure exactly how many days that will be back, but we have not got the results back for that yet. But we did go into the ultrasound, and the baby looks perfectly healthy. No soft markers or characteristics of Down syndrome whatsoever in the baby, and the baby's actually measuring 3 days ahead. So it was measuring at 17 weeks and 3 days while we were there. The baby was moving around a ton. We got to see the baby in 3D and 4D, which was fun. And it was just fun to see the baby. Like I said, it's been a long time since we've seen a baby at 7 weeks. So we were really happy to see the baby, and even more happy that the baby was healthy. So right now, as we stand, we are told that our chances are now 1 in 450, which puts us above the marker to be flagged, and then still a little bit below my age, but it's better than 163. And like I said before, we're at a 60% chance now that the baby does not have Down syndrome, and a 40% chance that it still does, even though everything looked perfectly fine on the ultrasound. So we are still waiting for the results of the other blood test, and I will let you guys know as soon as we know. Hopefully the baby is fine. Like I said, if the baby does have Down syndrome, we're just going to love the baby as much as we would anyways, and take care of the baby as much as we would anyways, and it'll just be a lot different. So right now I'm still hopeful that the baby is healthy and happy and doing good. It was very scary. It kind of made me want to enjoy this pregnancy a little more. I don't really enjoy being pregnant, so I tend to want to rush things, get things over with, and other things were kind of on my mind, like the move, all the things we're having to do with the move, wanting to know the baby's gender, all that sort of thing. And meanwhile, maybe my baby's not even healthy. So it kind of made me stop in my tracks and realize that I just need to focus on this baby and focus on me and make sure that I'm doing good. So another good thing that came out of the appointment was that we got to find out the gender of the baby early. And no, I'm not telling you guys right now, because I definitely do want to do a gender reveal video. And I still have my old wives' tales video to upload. So I'm going to do those before the gender reveal. I know, I'm so sorry I'm making you guys wait. But I originally told you guys that we were going to find out on December 10th, which was the appointment that I made with my regular doctor. But when we were at the ultrasound at the genetic counselor's, we asked her if we could find out the gender, and she said yes. And we actually had her write it down on a piece of paper and put it in an envelope so that we could read it later. We were so excited to find out if we were having a boy or girl, but we wanted to focus on the baby and its health, whether they were going to find any characteristics of Down syndrome or not. So we wanted to focus on that instead of celebrating whether it was a boy or a girl. So we did find out later that day. Actually, right when we left, we opened the envelope. We couldn't wait any longer. So it was nice to have some reassurance and some good news with the baby looking healthy and everything, and then finding out the gender. It just made that whole day turn around for the better, and it made us have a very wonderful Thanksgiving with our family, and everyone's so thankful that the baby is looking healthy. We told everyone the gender already, so they're really excited as well. So yeah. A lot went on in the last 2 weeks, and yeah, I'm sure that there are many of you that maybe have gotten the same results or close to the same results with the AFP test. If I could go back, I would still take the test. Maybe I would take the first trimester screening instead. But for a while there, I was like, why did I even take that test if so many people got false positives? I actually didn't even look into the test before I got my blood drawn. I just did it because I figured that's what I did with Jane. And I honestly didn't really think anything of it. But I guess other people that do their research usually decide not to do that test because of the false positives that it can give. And but like I said, I would still do the test because we still want to know if our baby's healthy. We want to know what to expect when the baby's born. We don't want to be surprised on the baby's birthday with Down syndrome or any other problems that the baby might have. So yeah, so we're glad that we did it. It was a rough few days, but hopefully we are turning around for the better. And like I said, I will let you guys know for sure what our test results come back for with the other blood test. Hopefully I'll find out sometime this week. So maybe I'll update you guys on my 19-week update. So I'm going to show you my 18-week belly. Like I said, I'm 18 weeks tomorrow, and I just ate a big lunch, so my belly looks super big. But I will show you guys my belly. So this is with the shirt on, the side, the shirt up, nice and big. My belly button's getting flatter and flatter, and from the front. Also, I forgot to mention, I'm feeling the baby kick so much, and it's so reassuring and makes me so happy. I remember feeling Jane all the time towards the end of the pregnancy, and it's just a little reminder that there's someone in there. So it's nice to feel the baby, especially when I'm laying down. I can feel the baby the most. So it's definitely starting to be a lot more than last week. And more each week as weeks go by, I'm feeling the baby kick more and more. So that's always fun. So thank you guys for watching. Let me know if you have any comments about what I just talked about. I know I just spit out a bunch of information to you guys. And I'm glad that I'm doing this. I hope that I can get some support from you guys, and maybe I can make somebody else feel a little bit better if they got the same results. So yeah, give the video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!